There's our thing.
Oh my God, so
What the hell? So you want me to put them
Oh,
Amen.
I get it. Oh,
Okay, ready? Ready? That's wait till you what I'm trying to do. So me for you. Okay, ready? Okay, ready?
I just look at them, like, I'll be like, I want to just. I just look at them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I named, no.
I don't have to.
Yeah, listen.
What? I know this guy's. I'm putting my sugar in lunch.
I'm gonna.
I feel like it's something.
Josh!
Oh, damn.
Josh! Josh!
It was late.
Have a seat, stop being deranged.
Why are you chasing me? I'm standing up. I thought that was you.
Josh! Josh!
Why you throwing it? Lads? I did it. He told me to do it. You know, like, he told me to put it back on. He told me to put it on. He told me to do it to you. So I just listened. Why were you listening? Because he's the mastermind. That doesn't mean anything.
Josh, go have a seat.
Oh, what?
Listen, guys. It's not true.
I got
You sold your team.
Wow.
We made it to, no. Listen, no, I'm curious. We made it to the second round, alright? Alright, the second round. In our class, you last place in your class.
Yeah, because I have all one.
There's two. What I do?
Are you talking about basketball?
Yeah, I know. God. My guy's good.
Johnny.
Yeah, boy.
Man.
Stop playing, bro.
Ain't there anything better?
Actually, what's this? Her artwork.
I'm not hurt. Jesus Christ. My friend.
I don't know. Why are you thinking about food right now? Because it's food. Who doesn't think about food 24/7?
That's an equation, right?
I'm getting Vietnam.
Because he was French.
Getting Vietnam.
Oh, really?
Like, what year?
I'm sorry.
This is the most common one.
Oh, I actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
How you treat it?
Buddy, you want to
Good.
Don't wait.
Oh, like that. What? Did I hear that?
Bro, you put that on my back. Not yours.
This one.
Thank you, Dad.
Yes.
Yes.
See,
Those ones are
Okay.
better.
I know where you live.
I'm gonna screenshot that one.
What? Go bring it.
I know what.
Wait, let me Wait,
Actually, no. I thought it for anyone.
Isn't that great about it?
What's the last thing you found out?
Seeing the one from the 9 feels so good for me.
The best one.
We have Lake Jimmy. We had Deanna Friday. But it's Deanna, I'm not Yo! Look! You don't want to have kids remind me of practice. Look! You don't want to have kids. Yeah, you
Exactly. I don't want to go to the sun.
I kind of like that one.
Give me your phone.
How do you run so slow? You a track.
Hey, let's go. Holy shit. That's 23. What's good? Hey, Robert. Oh, holy fuck, dude. Holy fuck. Fucking.
It's on a memorial board.
Let's go.
Hello, Keisha.
23. What's the shirt color? $23. Oh shit. Oh shit.
That's mad disrespectful.
Man, this is Pat.
Word.
Word, bro.
Word.
This,
Something I'll do.
this whole game hit. 20, bro. So what are you doing?
Everyone, you need to be seated. I'm sorry. Yusef, Jaden, Darius, you need to be seated. Virtually, bring out your laptop and your notebook. We're not messing around. Come on.
You hit him, man. Jane Sanders, you are late. It's good, buddy. It's good, bro. Holy shit.
Laptop out.
Sumo.
Laptop out, please. Relax. Where's your notebook?
Go ahead with that shit. I see how you do up, man.
For your do now, you have a vocabulary do now. So you have 10 multiple choice
Shit.
questions. And what you need to do is highlight the one you think is the correct
No, I-
meaning for that word.
I'm finished.
All of those bolded words, you have 10 of them, write down in the vocab section.
I haven't finished all of them.
You need to have your notebook there. So make sure you have your notebook out. You're writing down these words, and then you can go over all of the definitions together in class. You can put them in a document. They gotta be in your notebook at some point. You can put in your notebook there. Come on, we're not looking at our nails. This is like your go-to. Open up the classwork. Open it up. Notebook.
Notebook, well, hey, stop, bro. Stop. Chill, bro. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 23. I'm 23. I'll get on my dude.
Because you waste time in the beginning, and you know it takes time for the computer to load up. So you like to waste class time.
I'm gonna.
It's gonna give you negative thoughts during class. You know you need to get. It goes not just for you, for a lot of people here.
Not for me either.
Looks on.
Not for
it's
me
on,
either.
You know, right?
Yeah,
The classwork.
you're getting the classwork. Do not is.
Oh, 20 more. This KB.
What's up? What's up?
So I'm 23. Flipping 23.
That's not the class. Read what it says. Read what it says. If you're confused as to what to do, use your eyeballs and read.
Says the one that says 20 Morrison, right?
Yes.
This one right
That's it. Use your notebook.
I have 2 people earning college readiness points.
Again, use your eyeballs and read. What's the first 3 words?
Alright, 20. Oh shit, oh shit. Yeah.
Make a.
I like whichever one is correct territorial.
I didn't see your name.
I turned the final project.
I saw your name. I saw your name.
Thanks.
I forgot to do it for the weekend.
I'm 23.
Let's see what we got here.
Wait, wait.
Professor remained prestigious in her assessment of her academic skill. Okay, despite Marilyn's high grade, so she gets a high grade, the professor remained prestigious in her assessment. Either that or D. Which one? I think it's B. But you have to highlight it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. As soon as I saw the doctor's doleful expression, I knew my father's condition was worse than I previously thought. Once
I have a
I saw
question.
the doctor's
How do you say this word?
C. I am grateful to live in a country that allows free speech, freedom of the press. Grateful. What's
Thankful.
another? Very good.
Oh God, I see thankful.
We're gonna be back in about 2 minutes.
It's already easy, my boy.
Everyone should be prepared to be called on to share what they got for any of these responses. Remember those last three? You have to write down what you believe the sentence the word
Meaning.
most likely means.
Amina is married. She shouldn't act with her male coworker. Flirtatious. B.
Who's that?
The text of the film was so repugnant that most of the audience walked out of the theater before it even finished. Repugnant. Which word looks like repugnant? Which word looks like repugnant? Hello, mind your business. Which word looks like repugnant?
Repugnant. Repulsive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, repulsive. Pole. Okay, you blessed it.
No, it's still not comedian. 21A would he consistently receive a large gulf
Fall.
from the audience.
The audience eat after. Passionate. Passionate.
No.
Oops. Not passionate. Elegant. Elegant tour. It's a new tour.
Officials struggle deciding whether or not to release the abandoned truck to make room for a parking lot. Based on the system, raise most likely mean
Wait, please.
whether or not to raise the abandoned truck to put demolished.
All right, everyone. Please turn your computer to a 45 and track me up here. Thank you, Keisha. First, thank you, Eliza. Moses, Brandon, thank you. Okay. So you have a new list of vocabulary words, and this vocabulary.com exercise that is a practice assignment. There's also posted in vocab.com that needs to be done not by this Friday because you have an IA, but it needs to be done Sunday by 11:59 p.m. What did I just say?
Yeah, we have to do a vocabulary list by study day 11:59.
Okay, 11:59 p.m. to vocab. Let's just write an asterisk. And then we go. Today, what we're going to focus on is our introduction to Toni Morrison. Toni Morrison is the author of our next book. Our next book is titled Sula. I'm very excited to get to Toni Morrison and Sula. Toni Morrison is a fantastic, fabulous author. Her writing is beyond powerful, and I absolutely love it. So I cannot wait to get into her content. Yes. Is it boring, Thomas? Everything is boring to you, so I will say that for you.
This upcoming book it's like it's so boring as possible. It's like boring than it was.
First and foremost, let's begin
First of all, it's
by
good.
going over the classwork. So we have
Great Gatsby is good.
number one.
And
Number one states, despite Marilyn's high grade, the professor remained fastidious in her assessment of her academic skill. What does fastidious mean?
hard to please.
Hands. What does fastidious mean? 1, 2, 3, Viola.
I'll let you raise your hand.
Hard to please.
Thank you.
Very good. I'm going to bring up. Where the heck is it? I'm going to bring up the word, the part of speech, and then the definition. I see Sienna on her phone. I see Yusuf looking at the wall, not taking any notes down. This is your time to really do your work. Sienna, can you please take your phone away? Okay, can you do that after class? Or if you'd like, I can write you a pass to the restroom and you can get your testing back. Sorry?
Go
Okay,
hard.
give me like 1 minute and I will do that. So now just make sure you get this word down. Thank you. So fastidious, meaning hard to please because someone is very attentive and concerned with accuracy, with detail, with making sure everything is just right. That is what fastidious means. I can be pretty fastidious when it comes to grading, yes.
You wrote this down?
Yes, ma'am.
Or you have it written down? Wow. You have it written down? No.
Number 2. As soon as I saw the doctor's doleful expression, I knew my father's condition was worse than previously thought. Darius?
Filled with sadness.
Filled with sadness, C. That is correct. Doleful simply means expressing sorrow or
Put your
sadness.
notes right down.
Oh, I know. Doleful is you feel sad. You feel doleful.
Well, he wants you to write down the part of speech.
Typical.
So sometimes
Oh, the
you'll be
part of
feeling
speech.
doleful after the passing of a loved one.
Well, I know the meaning. The grateful.
Number 3.
I really know
I think
the
this is
meaning.
probably the easiest question here. I am grateful to live in a country that allows free speech and freedom of press. Jade Flowers.
I just
Hey.
A, thankful is correct.
Yes,
Grateful
Jade.
simply just means
Yeah.
thankful or feeling or showing appreciation for kindness.
Mm.
Number 4, since Amina, I'm not gonna move on yet. I'm just gonna go to the next one. Since Amina is married, she shouldn't act coquettish with her male coworker. What? Okay, be flirtatious. That is correct.
Okay, job.
Coquettish just means flirtatious.
Flirting.
You want to come back to you?
Just flirting.
Coquettish meaning behaving in a way that suggests playful sexual attraction, which is just a fancy way of saying flirtatious. Am I coquettish? Absolutely, I can be coquettish.
I'm very coquettish.
I used to have game.
Yeah. I am. I'm a coquettish man. I'm your man. Your man. Shy man.
Next job.
Shy man.
Okay. Number 5. The content of the film was so repugnant that most of the audience walked out of the theater before it even finished. You said. Number 5.
Why you raise your hand? For number 5.
Oh, sure, number 5.
Take your guess, sir.
Repulsive.
He did not talk to you.
D, sloppy is incorrect.
No, A,
Nice
repulsive.
job.
E.
Repulsive.
No, I said that.
Correct.
No, I said that. No, I said first.
So repugnant, meaning repulsive.
I already
extremely
said.
Distasteful.
Good
Or
job. You already
disgusting,
said
or
it. Somebody
you
else
have an
had to say it.
aversion to it.
I said that.
You have
Your
an
mask.
aversion to it. I mean, you don't want to be near it. You want to be away from it.
Where's your hand for number 6?
Yes, Keyshawn?
Noisy laughter.
He doesn't got me yet. That's what
Oh, we're not there yet.
I'm raising your
Number 6,
hand.
you know a stand-up comedian is funny when he consistently receives a large guffaw from the audience. So Keyshawn,
Noisy laughter.
noisy laughter.
I'm a
is
boy.
not a guffaw.
I'm a boy.
It's just a loud
Hey, give my
boisterous
boy.
laugh. Everyone in this
I'm
class
a boy.
collectively, name one
Boy
person,
got there.
perhaps from the same class, who you often hear guffawing. Diva. You always hear
It's
Diva.
Diva.
guffawing.
It's Diva. Diva's gone.
He's been referred.
He's referred to Dean. I'm excited. I'm happy about that.
Oh, it's not.
I'm happy about that. I'm going to get it.
Number 7, her walk full of grace and refinement. The wealthy socialite was admired by all in the fundraiser. Yusuf?
No, you already banned.
B or D? D?
No, I just fucked up all of them.
Step outside, please.
I'm going downstairs. I want to step outside.
So you're going to be going outside anyway.
Yeah.
Number 8.
So- How dare you? I just want to thought, you know? I guess not.
Not yet.
You know, but again, I was short on nuts.
And I'm short on cheeses.
I guess. Okay, so grace meaning what, Dawad?
Devastate.
What?
I didn't say devastation.
Devastate is to destroy.
The elegance? That is correct.
No.
That's
it.
Elegance,
Demolish.
grace, I think a word everyone here has.
Devastate
heard of, but
means
it's
to
hard to
demolish.
It's got multiple
destroy.
meanings.
Oh, if you don't put
Elegance,
them on.
refinement, courteous, goodwill, or just simply
Mr. Santoni.
controlled and
But
polite
he's
behavior.
not there yet. He's not there
Sorry?
yet. Just wait a minute.
Mr. Santoni, I've
No,
He's not there. He's not there yet.
I got a meaning. I got a new meaning. I got a new synonym for race.
Okay.
It's to
Next
devastate.
one.
Ravage. Ravage.
Officials struggle deciding whether or not to raise the abandoned church to make room for a parking lot. Amia. Well, take a guess. Officials struggle deciding whether or not to raise the abandoned parking church, the abandoned church to make room for a parking lot.
I don't know.
Take a guess.
I'm trying, but it's
They're deciding whether or not to raise the church to make room for a parking lot. What do you have to do to the church to make room for a parking lot? Sorry? Change it? How can you change a building into a parking lot?
I'm trying to like find a different word for it, cause like I cannot think.
So, no,
And
if
get
you were
to
gonna
a
make beloved
raise-
into a parking lot, what would you have to do to the building?
Raise.
Destroy it. Destroy it. Destroy it. That is it.
Yeah, Abdul, get out this class.
Raise means
What?
to destroy utterly and completely. Number 9, the man's tear-stained face had a rueful
I'm
look
taking
as he apologized for
taking
hitting
it
the dog.
away. Told you no.
Right here.
Told you no. No. Night.
Sad.
You put
James,
destroy.
what did you have?
Change that to destroy.
Express sorrow.
Ravage means to destroy.
Express
The
sorrow
man
or
said
regret?
it's destroy.
Rueful.
Ravage.
Expressing sorrow or regret, or causing sorrow or pity. That is not a verb, that's a mistake. That is an adjective.
I'm gonna raise these toys.
Okay, you gotta put the next one. Sorrow.
And last but not least,
Sorrow.
since we raised $1 million for our charity, we consider the fundraiser to be unequivocal success.
Fortnite.
Elijah,
I gotta break
was
this.
unequivocal.
I'm breaking. Get out. Break.
To accomplish something, okay. Yusuf? Unimaginary? Maybe not unimaginary. Yeah. Undeniable, yes. Roof, unequivocal just means leaving no doubt. It is definite, it is undeniable.
Undeniable.
So if I said, I don't know, Colette is unequivocally just not paying attention. It means she's definitely not paying attention.
Nice job.
I am about to unequivocally refer Thomas. I'm using it as an example. I'm not really going to refer to it. Yet.
No, don't take it.
So,
Jacob.
make sure you know these 10 words and how to conjugate them. We will have other do-nows this week with these words. We may have an oral drill with these words.
Nice, Mrs. Anthony.
So, please make sure
Thank
that you know
you.
them and have them jotted down. Now, open up to your reading section of your binder. You're going to start a page of notes that's just titled Toni Morrison, or Introduction to Toni Morrison. If you don't know how to spell it, her name is right here in the objective. Today we're going to be able to comprehend and internalize the impact and legacy of her life and writing in order to prepare for our reading of Sula. So please make sure that you have, there is someone else with you. Please make sure that you have this page of notes written down. Colette doesn't have it yet. Neither does Viola. Iad has it. Jawad has it. Tyron has it. No one else has it. Please get there. Thank you, Viola. Thank you, Colette. Thank you, Alan.
You need some paper to write down notes.
Where?
Someone extra for you.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit up and see.
Now, everyone, we're about to learn about Toni Morrison. You don't have to write down everything word for word, obviously. Just write down the important points that you think help define her life and her influence and her legacy. Okay, you don't have to write everything down. So, without further ado, let's talk about Toni Morrison. This is Toni Morrison. This is Barack Obama giving her the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Toni Morrison is one of the most celebrated and renowned authors in the world. She actually won the Pulitzer Prize for Literature, and she was the first African American woman to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. 1, 2, 3, 4 people writing down notes urgently. Very good. As you can see by the date up there, she did pass away about 3 years ago in 2019. It was a very sad day when I found out Toni Morrison passed. What grade were you in? Eighth grade?
Eighth grade.
This is when I taught you in 8th grade. Huh? Nightmares? Still have nightmares about that? Okay.
Those were the times.
Moving on. Toni Morrison was born in a small town named Lorain, Ohio, which was a semi-integrated area, meaning that there was some integration between races, but not that much. So racial discrimination was still a big constant threat in her life. I found this little anecdote, meaning story, that I thought was very interesting, and she mentioned it in a couple of interviews and how it influenced her life and influenced her perspective on injustice in a way. And that's that while growing up, her family was poor, and they were unable to afford rent in their apartment building. So the landlord decided to set it ablaze to get them out. I don't know why. That was the logical series of events inside his mind, but that's what it was. But what stuck with Toni Morrison wasn't what happened. It was her family's response to what happened. Instead of being angry and shouting obscenities or being violent at this guy, who you would expect, because it's such a crazy thing to do, they started laughing at the landlord rather than falling into despair. This demonstrated to Toni Morrison that she needed to keep her integrity and her dignity in the face of injustice. It really taught her that in moments of monumental oppression or crudeness or just evil, that it is important to maintain integrity. Do not let something like this make you fall into the depths of despair. The way Moses' head is falling right now. That was a good segue. Damn. There's the list. Next one. After you. Sorry? What? What'd you say? Did you say I talk in the third person?
Yeah.
I did not talk in the third person. I said I'm good. If I was talking in the third person, I'd be like, you know what? That Mr. Santoni, he's a good one. He's
See?
funny.
Talk to
Fun.
them.
That would be me talking in the third person. Moving on. Toni Morrison was actually, her birth name was actually Chloe, but she changed her name to Toni because she became a Catholic and took the name of St. Anthony of Padua, which led her to the nickname Toni. What's important here is that in 1949 she enrolled in Howard University, which is a historically black university, because she was seeking the company of other fellow black intellectuals. While at Howard, at the school, she experienced the effects of deep racial segregation for the first time in her life. And she saw how it's divided people, how it divided communities. And this is a big thematic topic in her books, is racial tension. And the way she addresses it is quite unique and profound, and we'll get to that as we read Sula. Moving on. She was very, very influential when it came to the literary publishing world. Specifically, there is a publisher named Random House, and they have a lot of different offices throughout the country, throughout the world actually. She eventually started to work at the New York City branch of Random House, and she became the first black woman senior editor in the fiction department. Meaning that when it came to stories toward fiction writing, she was responsible for what was published and what was not published. What was published and accessible to the masses, to readers in America. She chose to publish a lot of black literature, meaning the literature, the writing of black voices, black identities. And she really made that accessible to a lot of the mainstream public. So in terms of publishing and what the access she was able to give to the black community in terms of writing and literature and their voice being heard, she was really, really important.
They divorced.
Yeah, she did have a husband and some kids, but they were divorced in '64.
I think she lost. She was like angry.
Potentially, I mean, I don't know how she really felt in the moment, but she could have been very angry.
His arm was very.
Yes. But what is important here, remember, is her influence as a fiction editor and what she was able to do for black voices in America. Moving on. Her first novel was titled The Bluest Eye. You read it? A very, very powerful book. However, I will say this. Along with The Bluest Eye and with this book, and I want all eyes on me as I say this. Thank you, Alan, Amia. Along with The Bluest Eye and Sula, both novels really deal with and handle very sensitive, controversial, provocative subject material. And I know that this class will handle it with grace and with maturity and with respect, because that is what is essential, both for yourself, the people around you, and this work itself. So Moses, once again, The Bluest Eye and Sula, along with all of Toni Morrison's other novels deal with very sensitive subject material, and I wanted to give you a heads up because next week when we start reading, there could be some parts that could be potentially triggering to some people. And if you wanted to discuss some of the more heavy-handed topics of this book, please come talk. We can always address them. We can always have you maybe skip that chapter for the day, or we can come about it in a different angle. We can work on it one-on-one, anything like that. Anything to help. Sorry? Sula or the Blue Sky? Sula? Okay. Her first book, The Blue Sky, is about a girl named Pecola who has so deeply ingrained this idea of I am not worthy, this deeply ingrained idea of I am lesser than, that she really truly believed in her life that her life would be better if she didn't have her skin color, if she had blue eyes. Sula explores the African American experience through motherhood, sisterhood, friendship, and focuses on the friendship of these two African American women who were growing up in Ohio. How they take very, very different paths in life. Some of the thematic topics that these novels deal with are stated above. I would write some of these down so that you know exactly what you're going to be looking for as we read through it. So, we have ideas of racial prejudice, tension, community, sexism, motherhood, loss of innocence. Sex and sexuality is a really, really important one. And the idea of womanhood and sexuality overlapping. A lot of really, really, really essential thematic topics that are really expressed through the lens of the African American experience. Listen, I could go on and on about Toni Morrison, but that's boring. So, I'm going to show you a video that really details why Toni Morrison's legacy in life was so important, why her writing was so important. And what you're going to do is you're going to answer 5 analysis questions as we watch this video. So, if you look at this writing, if you go to your classwork and scroll down to the last page, you will see that you have these analysis questions to answer. So, the first analysis question is asking you, after we watch this video, why have Toni Morrison's novels made such a significant impact on American literature? Question number 2, yeah, please read it. Thank you. Number 3. Brandon, can you please read number 3? Just the question. Okay, so number 3 addresses the idea of something called the white gaze. She's going to address it in the video, and I want you to make sure that you write down what you think that means. What is she really talking about when she says the white gaze? Question number 4, Jawad.
What does Smith mean by beautiful human urgency? How can certain art create change in the world?
Create change in the world.
Yeah.
And the 5th question, what additional questions would you have asked if you were the reporter? Okay, I'm going to play this video. Everyone, you need to pay strict and close attention. Eliza, Thomas, you're going to need to pay attention to answer these questions. And then I'm going to give you some time to finish answering the questions, and then we're going to go over them in a class discussion. Okay? Very good.
That's good.
Thomas, put your life together, please.
What?
Okay. Yeah, can you get the lights, please? Here we go. The questions are out of order, by the way. I'll let you know when they're coming up. The first question is stated throughout the video, so pay attention. For now, what you're going to do is you're going to focus on question number 1, 3, and 1 and 3 for now. And then we'll move on to 2 and 4 as the video goes on. Here we go. go.
Finally, tonight, an appreciation of author and Nobel laureate Toni Morrison, who died last night. Jeffrey Brown looks back at how she helped to transform modern American letters. This tribute is part of Canvas, our ongoing arts and culture coverage.
As editor, teacher, and most of all, writer, Toni Morrison changed and enhanced American literature. In 2012, on the campus of Howard University, where she'd been an undergraduate, she looked back to her younger self, just starting out in the world.
I felt so confident and capable. The future was, right there at your fingertips. And I was so happy to be among what I hadn't had when I was in Ohio, African American intellectuals. And that was the company I wanted to keep.
She worked as a book editor first and was nearly 40 when her first novel, The Bluest Eye, was published, followed by Sula, The Song of Solomon, and other books, 11 novels, children's books, and essay collections that made her reputation for bringing to the fore a distinctly African American story, rooted in history and the legacy of slavery, written in a powerful voice like no other.
Satha was trying to make up for the handsaw. Beloved was making her pay for it.
Beloved, widely considered her masterwork, was published in 1987 and won the Pulitzer Prize.
Which they like, had mine too.
A 1998 film version starred Oprah Winfrey as a mother who escaped her Kentucky master and upon capture in Ohio, killed her own daughter rather than have her forced back into a life of slavery. Morrison spoke to the NewsHour's Charlene Hunter Galt when the novel first came out.
I read an article in the 19th century newspaper about a woman whose name was Margaret Kerner. It was an article that stayed with me for a long, long time and seemed to have in it an extraordinary idea that was worthy of a novel, which was this compulsion to nurture, this ferocity that a woman has to be responsible for her children, and at the same time, the kind of tensions that exist in trying to be a separate, complete individual.
In a recent documentary
Number 3's
called
coming up.
Toni Morrison, The Pieces I Am, Morrison spoke of her goals as a writer.
Number 3.
I didn't want to speak for, I wanted to speak to and to be among.
I'm going to rewind that slightly so that everyone can get what she's saying about question number 3 and the white gaze. Here we go.
Toni Morrison, The Pieces I Am, Morrison spoke of her goals as a writer.
I didn't want to speak for Black people. I wanted to speak to and to be among. It's us. So, first thing I had to do was to eliminate the white gaze. Jimmy Baldwin used to talk about that. The little white man that sits on your shoulder and checks out everything you do and say. So to knock him off. And, you're free. Now I own the world. I mean, I can write about anything. To anyone, for anyone.
Morrison was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1993, the first African-American woman to win, praised by the Academy for her, quote, visionary force. And she was given the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor, by Barack Obama in 2012. Morrison was on the bestseller list again in 1997 for her novel Paradise,